Other news we're tracking for you, Eskom and the Special Investigations Unit are going after former executives, including Brian Molefe, Matela Koko, Suzanne Daniels, the Gupta family and associates, among others, all implicated in looting Eskom. The power utility says the 12 defendants acted in the corrupt diversion of resources from Eskom, and that lost the utility around 3.8 billion rand. Now let's just take a look back now. In 2016, Glencore was forced to sell Optimum Coal Mine to a Gupta-owned company to get resources after Eskom placed the company under financial pressure and withheld coal payments to that entity. In 2018, Optimum Coal Mine went into business rescue when the Bank of Baroda exited South Africa, leaving the company with no banking facilities to cover operational costs. Now, 2 years after that business rescue plan was established, the mine remains unoperational and is still struggling to find buyers. Let's unpack the story now and speak to business rescue practitioner Louis Klopper. Louis, thanks very much for your time. It does take a moment for us to just situate the story, go back some 4 years and paint the picture of how we've gotten to the situation of Optimum Coal Mine. I suppose the main question here is, you've still not sold the mine. Why is that?
Good morning to you and good morning to your viewers. Yeah, it is true that the mine has been under business rescue for the last 2 and nearly a half years. The practitioners are currently keeping the mine under care and maintenance. In other words, just the most essential security and water reticulation to supply to Andrina is kept in place. Suffice to say that the practitioners have published a few business rescue plans historically already. The first plan was published in December 2018, but on the insistence of one of the major creditors, the plan was postponed until a further meeting for them to engage with the prospective bidders. So we've had interferences from all these interested parties all along, which has made our job very difficult to find suitable buyers. And every time that there's been this interference, the buyers walk away or their funders lose faith in the process, and then we've got to start it from scratch again. And this is exactly the position we're in at the moment.
Is the fact that this is unfolding in a highly politicized setting, that I'm sure is having a big impact on what you've just described?
Yes. Unfortunately, due to the extensive press coverage given to the family when they were living in South Africa and doing their business here, there is a huge sensitivity and especially political sensitivity around the whole matter, which does not make it easier.
So here's a question for you. Just in terms of that statement that was issued on behalf of Kruger and Co. attorneys that said the business rescue practitioners, and they name Johan Klopper and Robert Knoop, they were linked to the Gupta family. Is that why you were appointed instead?
No, that statement is completely untrue. You know, we as business rescue practitioners have executed our duty strictly in terms of the Act. We've got a legal team that advises us on every step of the way. Excuse me. So, you know, we've just stuck by what the Act requires of us and executed our duties accordingly.
So, Louis, the issue around the mine, I mean, it should be sellable, isn't it? It should be, you should be open to getting a bidder and closing the sale and closing this chapter perhaps once and for all. Aside from the political things that you've just described, aside from the issues with creditors, are there other issues that are affecting that?
Not really, no. I mean, your comment of the mine is highly sellable is very true. You know, and this is what is quite perplexing for us, because at the end of the day, there's a quantum of some 600 million tons of unexplored and unmined product underground, which is a highly sought after product internationally and of course locally as well. So, you know, the mine offers huge scope And what people tend to forget is there's an export allocation of some 8 million tons through the Richards Bay Coal Terminal allocated to this mine. So, you know, it is a ready-made business. The problem that we have, though, is there's insufficient funds locally in South Africa available to buy a mine like this. You know, you're going to have to rely on assistance or some standby from foreign investors. Just to give you an idea, this mine is not a small little hole in the ground. We must please understand that the extent and the area of the mine that where these underground deposits are covers an area of 60 by 60 kilometers. That's 360 square kilometers. This is a massive, massive, massive mine. And the financial resources to purchase this and operate it simply is not available in South Africa, which is complicating the matter.
Let me ask you this, just as we close off our interview, Louis. If the mine is sold, the money that is generated from that sale, where is it going to? I understand that Optimum does owe a whole slew of companies money.
The proceeds of the sale, I believe, will be dispersed fully to the creditors, to all outstanding matters owing to creditors. I do not believe that there will be any surplus left over for previous owners or anything like that. The kind of prices that have been put to us in the past does not even cover the full extent of the creditors, so they are at best going to receive a significant dividend, but there's going to be no surplus funds.
Louis Klopper, thanks very much for your time. Louis Klopper is Business Rescue Practitioner as we continue to track the sale of Optimum Coal Mine. Of course, that story dating back some years in South Africa.